Hello and welcome to the Futures League All-Star Selection Show. Today we will be selecting both the Western and Eastern Conference All-Stars for the upcoming All-Star game that will be played this Tuesday in Lynn. The North Shore Navigators hosting this year. I'm your host today. I'm John Avino. I'm joined today by Commissioner Chris Hall. We have our West analyst, Chris Travers, and our East analyst, Joe Hawk. How's everybody doing today?
Well, great. Looking forward to it. It's our first time going live with the selection show. So
yeah, big thank you to Nashua TV for getting us on live today. We're streaming both on Easy Stream and YouTube today. So, gentlemen, we have a lot to get to today. As I said, the All-Star game will be will be played next Tuesday in North Shore. Chris, why don't you give us some more information on that?
Yeah, no, we're really excited. Pat Salvi, the owner of the North Shore Navigators, and Bill Terlecki, the general manager of the North Shore Navigators, are going to be putting on a great show. We start the whole day at 3 o'clock that day. We start with our Scout Day portion. We go from 3 o'clock to about 6:30, and when our home run derby starts around 6:30, and then our first pitch should be right around 7:05. Also, in addition to the baseball entertainment, Bill Terlecki and Pat have also invited the Superstars to be our fan entertainment that day. As you can see there, great fun, the Superstars. So it'll be a great fan experience, player experience, and also, the biggest thing for the players is the Major League Baseball scouts will be in attendance every year. That we've had it, the scouts grow and grow. And last year we had over 20 Major League teams represented, and we're looking forward to seeing them again.
All right, so without further ado, why don't we start taking a look at some of these rosters. We will start with the Western Conference catchers, and for that we're going to go over to our man, Chris Travers. Chris.
Thanks, John. So the West catchers are represented by 3 catchers. The first is Cody Doyle from Sacred Heart University and the Torrington Titans. Next is Derek Gardella of University of Rhode Island and the Pittsfield Suns. And third is Chris Stanford of Franklin Pierce and the Wachusett Dirt Dogs.
So as you see there, 3 very good catchers represented for the West. Which of these guys do you like the most?
I really like Stanford. He was a good on-base guy. He's got a .427 on-base percentage right now, and he can really handle himself behind the plate.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to catchers on both sides of teams here. We're very strong with catchers this year in the league. A lot of guys who can play at the next level, catch and throw guys that swing the bat a little bit. So I'm excited to see these guys perform on Scout Day.
Yeah, well, you mentioned both sides, so why don't we move on now to the East catchers, Joe?
Thank you. So the East catchers, the first one is Dominic Dorenzo. He plays for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. His teammate, John Mayer, is also on the team. He plays for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks as well. And the third catcher is Eric Osberg from the Nashua Silver Knights.
So another great group of catchers, as Chris, you mentioned, both sides catchers very strong this year. Who are you most looking forward to seeing on that group?
I definitely like Dominic Dorenzo. He's a high school catcher. He's going to Oklahoma next year. He's great defensively, and he's starting to work out more at the plate. He's starting to hit the ball a little bit better and getting a little stronger as the season goes on.
Yeah, Mayer's another one. It's his second year in the league, and I was shocked last year that he didn't get drafted, in this year's draft. So I think he's a kid that we're really looking forward to having again in the All-Star game. The kid can swing the bat. He can throw it to Dorenzo. The two of them have really strong arms. I mean, there's 2 guys that scouts like quite a bit. Yeah. Obviously, Dorenzo's already been drafted.
Vineyard's pretty lucky to have both those guys on their roster.
Yes.
So now I guess we will move on to the infielders for both sides. We'll go back over to Chris, who has the Western Conference infielders.
So the first infielder that we'll be talking about is Gerard Rohan from Akron University and the Bristol Blues. Next is also from the Bristol Blues, Austin Chauvin of St. Mary's University. Next is Chris Shiradio of Seton Hall and the Wachusett Dirt Dogs. John Christopherson, also from the Wachusett Dirt Dogs in St. Peter's. Casey McCone of the Pittsfield Suns and the University of Bridgeport. Austin Filaire of MIT and the Brockton Rocks. And Matt Dobby of the Brockton Rocks as well, who goes to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, so a good group there. We have 7 infielders selected from the West side, and obviously we've been through some of those guys. Some of them hit for power, some do a little bit of everything. Who's your favorite of the group of infielders on the West, Chris?
Really like to see Rohan. He's leading the team and leading the West in hitting. And he's tied for the league in doubles, so I'm really excited to see him play and put on a show for the scouts.
The one thing people will recognize that we actually had we had 2 kids from the East, from Brockton, that are on the West roster. This year we had to do that a little bit. We had to move someone from the West over to the East just to balance out the infielders to make it, easy for the managers to coach the game. So we've got a little bit of East on the West and a little bit of the West on the East.
Just to not give one team all the shortstops and second baseman, and the other team all the corner infielders.
And Dobby, there's one recognition here is, Dobby, who just came to us a couple weeks ago, has put on a great show in Brockton. Virginia Tech player. He's a top 10 round talent and ability, and we're looking forward to having him at the All-Star game as well.
Great. So why don't we move over to the east side now, Joe?
Thank you. So with the East infielders, we start with Jack Roberts. He plays for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks and attends Williams College. Next is Brandon Fisher. He plays for the North Shore Navigators and attends St. Thomas Aquinas. Next is MJ Brown. He goes to Lee University and plays for the North Shore Navigators as well. Also for the North Shore Navigators is Richie Fecto. He goes to Salem State University. And Manny Cruz. He goes to Southern New Hampshire University and plays for the Nashua Silver Knights. And finally, Zach Tower. He plays for UMass Lowell and plays for the Worcester Bravehearts this summer.
Yeah, so Tower, one of the guys from the West that's playing for the East because of his position, obviously. But how about Brandon Fisher? He really impresses me. He does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he's definitely good defensively. He's good at the plate. So this year, he's leading. He's one of the league leaders in average, and he's hitting a lot of doubles and triples. So he definitely has a speed element to his game, and he's definitely good in the field. So he's an all-around player.
Yeah, actually, Cruz is another player that I like quite a bit, and a lot of scouts seem to like him as well. I hear a lot of good things from coaches in the league about his ability to field the ball in the middle infield, but he can also swing the stick a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing him as well.
Great. So we're going to the outfield. We'll start in the West yet again, and Chris has those for us.
Thanks, John. We got a strong group of outfielders right here, starting with Davis Strong of the Bristol Blues, who attends St. Mary's. Next is Ryan Olmo of the University of Rhode Island and the Pittsfield Suns. Next is Max DiTondo from Franklin Pierce University and Wachusett Dirt Dogs. Also from Franklin Pierce University, Curtis White and the Wachusett Dirt Dogs. From the Worcester Bravehearts, Ian Strom and UMass Lowell. And the Torrington Titans, Sacred Heart, Dan Schock.
So the one that stands out to me on that list is obviously Ian Strom. We know what he does with the glove. He also is hitting .441 this year. Is he as impressive to you as he is to me, Chris?
Definitely. I mean, me and Joe went out to see him yesterday play against Wachusett, and he's had 3 hits. Kind of just does it all for them. He can run. He's great defensively. We've seen him on Sports Center a couple of times. There's a couple of top plays from last year and this year. He's made a few that probably could have been on there as well. And I think he might be just one of the top prospects in the league, just an all-around, just great player.
Yeah, Ian is definitely one of the top players in the league. Talking to many scouts about him and his ability. Obviously, defensively, it's the second time 2 years in a row he's been in the top 10 with the catches that he's made. He is, right now a top 5 round pick, in my opinion, for next year. So I think he's going to be one guy that a lot of scouts are going to want to see this week at Frazier Field in Lynn.
Absolutely. So let's move over to the east side now for the outfielders.
So with the East outfielders, we start with Ryan Gendron. He plays for Southern New Hampshire and the Seacoast Mavericks this summer. Next is Brian Campbell from Stonehill College, and he plays for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. His teammate on the Sharks, Donovan Casey, he plays his ball at Boston College. Nick Johnson, he goes to Vassar and plays for the Brockton Rocks. Tommy Marcinzik goes to Rutgers and plays for the Brockton Rocks as well. And Ryan Sullivan, he goes to Bunker Hill Community College and plays for the Nashua Silver Knights. And Tyler Schwans, he goes to Maine and plays for the Nashua Silver Knights as well.
So another excellent group of outfielders here. The one who really obviously stands out to me is Ryan Gendron. I mean, he's done it all this year, leads the league in home runs and RBIs, and his average is up there as well. Is there anything he can't do?
I mean, he seems to do everything well. He's hitting for power, he's hitting for average. So he's definitely an impressive kid. He's a big kid, he's a strong kid. And I mean, he's good to have in the league. He's one of those players that everyone loves to be around. And he's just showing up every night.
I'll tell you, our outfielders are really strong across the board, the West and the East. One of the players I really enjoy watching play is Donovan Casey from Boston College, who plays for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. Casey, if we had video that night, he would have had another top 10 catch. He stole a home run from, I think it was from Stoffel, jumped right over the fence, grabbed the ball right at the back. Plays hard, runs everything out the right way. He's a New England type player that we'd love to watch play. And to boot, he can get up on the mound and chuck it pretty good too.
Yeah, that's one thing that stood out to me is a lot of these guys are not only good hitters and fielders, but they're also good pitchers, some of them. So speaking of pitchers, why don't we move over to the Western Conference pitchers?
Thanks, John. First pitcher that was selected is Robbie Hitt from Quinnipiac University and the Torrington Titans. Next is Tim Cate, who is going to be going to the University of Yukon in the Bristol Blues. Next is Troy Tersey, who attends Post University and also pitches for the Bristol Blues. Another Bristol Blue, Rob Pacchione from LIU Post. And once again, another Bristol Blues, Ty Robinson, who attends Northeastern. And the last Bristol Blue that was selected to the All-Star team is George Lund of Roger Williams University. Next is Matthew Cronin from UMass Dartmouth and the Wachusett Dirt Dogs. Next is Dylan Collette of St. Leo and the Worcester Bravehearts. Charlie Butler of Maine and the Worcester Bravehearts. Peyton Taylor of East Tennessee State and the Pittsfield Suns.
So yeah, a great group there. Obviously, we're laughing a little bit because 5 Bristol Blues pitchers were selected, but they're all deserving. It's not like we just put them on the roster because we wanted to see more Bristol Blues. They all had good seasons.
Well, there's a reason why I think the first place in the West.
Yeah.
They can chuck it.
Yeah.
You have some kids there that can really throw strikes, pound the strike zone. The secondary pitches, for the Blues, many of them, not over 90 guys. They can get up there, touch it. But many of them, pound the strike zone, good secondary stuff. Looking forward to seeing those guys perform on a Scout Day and All-Star Day.
Right now, Troy Terzi's on an unbelievable tear right now. He's actually at 30 2/3 innings consecutive of not allowing an unearned run at the moment. So
And that's why he's an All-Star.
it's a good way to go into the All-Star game. And, Robbie hit, too. We saw him pitch up in Nashua not too long ago. And, really good stuff, good command, and works that slider really well.
Yeah, he had a really good game. The game we were there pitching against Nashua. It helped that he got like 11 runs of run support, but he
4 in
pitched,
the first.
he
Did
pitched
help.
very well as well.
Another kid there is Tim Cate. Cate is the high school pitcher going to UConn with a plus curveball. He can get up there close to 90, but a left-hander with an unhittable, as Rick Montine calls it, an unhittable curveball. His strikeout numbers are high for innings pitched. Looking forward to seeing him. UConn's got a great kid coming in there.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Absolutely. So let's move over to the East now, get the Eastern Conference pitchers.
Thank you. So we're going to start with Lucas Olin. He goes to Southern New Hampshire University and plays for the Nashua Silver Knights. Mike Parmentier goes to Norfolk State University, plays for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. Zach Brown goes to Tufts University and plays for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. Trevor Massey, he goes to Boston College and plays for the North Shore Navigators. Speros Varinos, Tufts University and plays for the North Shore Navigators. Steve Zirinax goes to UMass Lowell and plays for the North Shore Navigators. Austin French attends Brown University and plays for the Seacoast Mavericks. Jake Walkinshaw goes to Southern New Hampshire and plays for the Seacoast Mavericks. Will Whitlock goes to Stetson and plays for the Brockton Rocks. CJ Dandino goes to UConn, plays for the Brockton Rocks. Tommy Stoffel goes to Virginia Tech and plays for the Brockton Rocks as well.
Yeah, so a great group of pitchers there. Obviously, you saw Stoffel will not play in the All-Star game, but there's still a lot of good pitching. And, a lot of those guys stand out to me. Austin French is one of them. 48 strikeouts and just over 40 innings.
I'll tell you, I had a lot of conversations yesterday about Austin French with some scouts. I mean, he's a guy that is getting a lot of looks. Brown's got a great pitcher there. He's a kid that's really progressing this summer. Slider is great. Can really, get that fastball up there too. 90. He's a kid that I know a lot of scouts are looking forward to seeing on Tuesday.
Definitely.
Another player with a fun name to say is Speros Varinos, but he's a little guy and he runs it up there. He throws the ball pretty hard. He's got good mix of pitches, so we're looking forward to seeing him in the All-Star game. He's had a great year. So
His teammate Steven Zirinax also 5-1 with a 2.02 ERA. So they've had some good pitching over
I
in
think
both
he's only given up
conferences.
27 hits in 40 innings.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. He's that's the type of guy you want on the mound.
Absolutely. So just in case your guys didn't make the All-Star team, there will be one more player from each conference selected. The vote will open up after we go off the air on our streaming. Why don't you let us know who's in the West, Chris, for the fan vote?
The fan vote from Wachusett Dirt Dogs, Steve Colella. From the Pittsfield Suns, Dom Gorillo. From the Worcester Bravehearts, Logan Fulmer. The Torrington Titans, David Jerricks. And the Bristol Blues, Kyle Doobie.
So a good group there of pitchers. Obviously, it's actually pitchers in both conferences, both teams in need of one more pitcher. We're going to leave it up to the fans to decide who they think should go in for both conferences. So any comments on the fan voting in the West?
No, these guys, I'm looking at the names right now, all these guys were very close to making it to the All-Star team. And, the teams have obviously chose them as the players to try to get to be the 27th man.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned it in the open. It's tough to select these teams. It's not easy. So, these guys are right on the brink, and if with enough fan voting they can get in. Now we go over to the East to see who's up for the fan vote in the Eastern Conference.
for the East fan vote, we have from the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, Soren Hansen. From the Seacoast Mavericks, we have Josh Jakes. From the Nashua Silver Knights, we have Justin Snyder. From the North Shore Navigators, we have Tassos Statopoulos.
You've got a lot of fun names to say there.
And from the Brockton Rocks, we have Andrew David.
So yeah, another, like we said, another great group right on the brink of making the All-Star team, and they just need some fan support to make it.
Yes, and I know that Tasso will be getting a tremendous amount of votes because I know that Bill Terlecki will be getting his crew together, his army of people that will punch away all day long voting online to make sure that he's got a shot to get to the All-Star game.
Another hometown kid possibly getting in if he can win.
You know, some of you teams have to understand that Bill will work hard at making sure that his representative gets in. So you guys better fight hard to get your guys in. You better start recruiting.
Chris is only saying all these nice things because he got a nice little
I got the swag going on thanks to Bill.
pullover from Bill that apparently I was not good enough to get when I interviewed him on Monday. Anyway, yeah, so that's the fan vote. Like I mentioned, it'll be live for you guys to vote. It'll be on the league website, thefuturesleague.com. I'm not sure where is it going to be on the website.
It's going to be on the top right.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see it as soon as this comes up.
It's just a survey. You'll be able to vote for one from the East and one from the West. So show some love for both conferences. Definitely show some love for your hometown guy. And, yeah, get out there and vote. It should be a fun vote. The voting will close when? Monday?
Monday morning at 10.
Okay, so it will be open immediately, well, probably 5 minutes after we get off the air until Monday morning at 10. And there's only one more thing that we have to show you guys, and that is the Home Run Derby participants. So without further ado, let's take a look at the participants. Ryan Gendron, easy pick. He's leading the league with 15 home runs this year.
That's an easy one.
Zach Tower, the only guy to have 3 home runs in a game this season. Ryan Sullivan's got 7 home runs for Nashua this season, and Giovanni Dingkong will be representing the hometown North Shore. He had a 2-home-run game last night. Obviously, a great group of sluggers here, and should be fun.
It's going to be a tough ballpark to hit home runs in, but these 4 guys, I have a feeling, will be hitting a few. These guys have some serious raw power and the ability to lift it. So we're excited to see that too. And, you know, we're going to try to mix it up a little bit this year. I really liked how Major League Baseball did the timing setup on that.
Yeah.
So we're going to do something very similar. We're finalizing exactly if it's going to be 2.5 minutes. I don't think I'm going to put these guys through a 4-minute show. They'll be exhausted by the end of that.
Especially because they got to play the game right after.
They got to play the game right after. So, but their adrenaline will be going. We'll mix it up. You know, the first 4 guys that go up, and I'm not sure if we're going to battle them against each other or how we set up the brackets, but we'll make it work.
You guys have any comments on the Home Run Derby?
I'm excited to watch it, honestly.
Definitely excited to watch it. Tower's a big body.
Yeah.
To see him put on a show, and then, of course, you know, Gendron with the 15. You know, I think anybody really. And Ding Kong, the hometown guy, you kind of want to vote for after seeing what Todd Frazier did for Cincinnati. You know, it's kind of something like that. So.
And if that's not good enough for you, we'll be competing in a slow pitch softball Home Run Derby. Just kidding. We won't be doing that. So, yeah, that's the All-Star teams. That's the Home Run Derby participants. Like I said, the fan vote, we had a lot of good stuff today. Is there anything else you guys, any closing comments?
Well, I'm looking forward to the show. Again, we put on one of the best All-Star games, and I know we're patting ourselves on the back here, but we put on one of the best All-Star games at Scout Day in the country, and that's the feedback we've gotten from Major League Scouts. Every year they enjoy coming. We feed them well. Bill feeds everybody well anyway. Over at North Shore, but these kids, we have some talent in the league, and every year we've grown. And this year, you know, we have 30 players that were either in the league or in current rosters that were drafted. We've already had some other guys sign after the draft, and we could have another kid. You know, every year after our All-Star game, there's always a couple of kids that get signed. You know, free agent signings, some juniors that may get signed. So. And I know there's already a few of those guys in the pipeline right now, and some scouts that I've been talking to that they're going after some of these guys that are going to be there. So, in addition to the All-Star game, you know, we do have the Scout Day, and I will be inviting 20 pitchers. I've already got that list together, and I'll be notifying your coaches of exactly who they are. And we're going to be bringing, I think, 8 or 9 position players as well. So we're going to be having between 28 and 30 additional players coming to the All-Star game to participate in Scout Day. And the reason why we do that is to allow these kids to be seen. May not have had the best year All-Star numbers. Some of those guys were pretty close. But those guys will have a chance to compete in front of the scouts and still get to be seen in front of those guys. Now, every year, that's another thing. A lot of kids who are in that Scout Day, the pitchers as well, maybe didn't make the All-Star game, but in the Scout Day, get drafted or signed. the following year. I mean, there's some guys we've had go in there, last year Mike Gibbons was one of them from Wheaton College, played for Torrington. Mike came in there, he was 93, 94 at Scout Day, and 2 weeks later, he was being signed by the New York Mets. So it happens, guys, and it's all it takes is one scout to really like what you do. And that's what we're hoping for, and that's what we're going to do everything we can to promote you guys that day and do the best we can. Now, the best thing about this too, even if you didn't make the All-Star game, okay, after the All-Star game is when the scouts will start coming to watch the players that they really like, and that's when they might find you. So if you didn't make the All-Star game, just keep playing hard, and you'll start seeing scouts coming to games consistently now until the end of the season.
Yeah, so bottom line is don't be discouraged if you didn't make the team. If you got invited to Scout Day, congrats to you as well. And like you said, there's going to be scouts at games after the All-Star game. So, Joe, Chris, any last thoughts from you guys?
Just excited for the All-Star game. Thanks for having us.
Excited as well.
Should be a great day. And with that, that is our All-Star selection show. If in case you missed this, which you won't be hearing me say right now anyway, it will be on YouTube afterwards for you guys to watch. So in case you wanted to check out the show, you can. It will be on our YouTube channel where I normally put up all of my Futures League minutes. Thank you again to Nashua TV for letting us use their studio for the day, and a couple of crew members to help us get this on the air and help us stream it out. It was a huge help to us. We cannot express our thanks enough. For Commissioner Chris Hall and our analysts Chris Travers and Joe Hawk, I'm John Avino, and thank you for joining us today for our selection of the All-Star teams.
Thank you.